Hello everyone, it's Marie here with you today from Crafty Landing, and I'm sharing my latest design team project for the Graphics Fairy. For those of you who may not have heard of the Graphics Fairy before, it's a premium member site that offers thousands of images and printables that you can use in your paper crafting. For journal makers it's brilliant because there are so many images and printables to choose from. They group certain images together in what's called a bundle, so when you go to their website you will actually see a list of all their bundles, and then you can click on one and it will bring up numerous images that within that bundle that you can use. I'm very lucky to be a design team member. I get free access to the site, so I spend many an hour perusing all the different images and printables on there because I just love it so much. So let's get on to my journal, and as you can see I've called it Shabby Whiskers because it's all about little kitty cats, and I have used many of the images in the kitty cat bundle. My cover here is semi-hard. It's a piece of thick card that I've used, and I've covered it with lots of different laces, as you can see, and it's a one signature journal, but it's quite bulky, so I gave it a nice thick spine, and I've added some flowers here and a nice bit of floral lace trim and some vintage buttons here and here, and I've sewn, you can see that I've sewn my little kitty cat image on with some vintage music paper in the back there. I've coated the image with Mod Podge so it will be protected on the front cover, and I'm really pleased with how it's turned out. You can see the different vintage laces that I've used here. I love this one, it's all textured and feels lovely in the hand, and a ribbon tie closure here. So let's get straight in there. Right, are we in focus? We are. So inside cover, just some wood grain piece of scrapbooking paper, and I've added in some canvas here along the spine for extra protection. There, now image of this beautiful kitty cat from my own stash, and the bottom corner here of the page I've just collaged it with a piece of the ribbon and some fabric flowers here. And that's the other side from my stash. Here, tea stained paper that I've added a ruffled ribbon trim to, and this flower image here is from the British, I've got it here, it's the British Flower Guide collage sheet, which is on the Graphics Fairy, and they have lots of lovely images in the British Flower Guide bundle, and as you can see I've used quite a few from this sheet. They also do journal pages, which I have used in here. We'll come across some of those in a minute. So tea stained paper, and on this side I've done a little tuck. That image there is from the Kitty Cat ephemera, and it's their stamp sheet, and I've used lots and lots of their stamps from that sheet. I think I've got it here to show you, but there's not many left. And no, I can't find it because I've used, oh here we are, Kitty Cat ephemera postage stamps, and look how many I've used in this journal. It's full of lovely different images of some cats. So that's there, and I've added some little lace trim here. This is the British Flower Guide journal page that I've just torn down to make this tuck, and this postcard here is from the Kitty Cat ephemera bundle. Beautiful cat, and on the back I've just collaged it up, added some lined paper for journaling, bit of brown packaging, vintage music paper, and one of the stamps. So that's that one, and that just nicely tucks in. Oh, and the back is the tea stain paper can be written on as well. Here is a page from an old address book, and I've added some trim here with gold applique in it, sewn that on, and that's the other side. Lace belly band. This journal page here is from this bundle here, the Printemps bundle, and I've used that because it went very well with the shabby kind of feel that I wanted. And I've made a sort of double belly band with the lace, because there's the main belly band section there, but I've also left this one free, so you could add something down that one as well. This envelope here is from the Vintage Album Frames bundle, and it was blank in the middle because it's like an album frame, and I've added the cat image here that's from the Kitty Cat ephemera bundle, and I've just sort of backed it onto some brown packaging, and I've backed the envelope as well, and that will just slide in my lace belly band here with the lovely cat poking out. Us cat lovers, I have my own cat here at home, beautiful Simba. He's a blondie cat, very big, he's almost the size of a little doggy. Right, here, this is from the Kitty Cat ephemera bundle, and I've just made it into a tuck spot here. I love these two cats. And inside I've added some journal cards, lined paper to be written on, and brown packaging, and I've cut this one out of the stamps, so I've just cut the actual cat out of the stamp and stuck him on the back, and you can journal on here, and that's some catnip in there. That image is from Alice's Garden, I think, which is the Wonderland, no, not Alice's Garden, sorry, the Wonderland collection, which is a bundle on its own on the Graphics Fairy site, and this is from the British Flower Guide sheet, and again I've just added some brown packaging, a little bit of grid paper and some vintage music paper there, so plenty of room for journaling. Some paper from my stash, vintage cat paper from my stash, and on this side, and some journaling space up here. This journal page is from the Graphics Fairy. That is the Rose Grid journal page, and I just searched for journal page in the search bar at the top of the website. I typed in journal pages and then clicked the printables from the selection, and it will come. It showed me so many different journal pages that fit my search, and I chose this one, and that's the backing on there. Now here I've made a pocket, but the image of the cat and the clock were together. Again, it's from one of the bundles from the Graphics Fairy. I think it's the Alice Garden bundle, where the cat and the clock were together on a journal card, and I cut them out separately and I added them onto this pocket because that's the pocket bit, but here we have some extra bit and you can journal on the back of there. So I cut them out so the cat is still looking at the clock just like it is on the journal card, but it allowed me to have some extra journal space there on the pocket, which I thought was quite nice, and a vintage paper clip with a heart holding those down. And here I've just cut out a vintage cat from my own journal stash, backed it onto some card for some journaling, and that goes in that pocket there. And on the other side of this page I've made a belly band with the British Floral Guide sheets and cut out one of those beautiful flowers from the collage sheet, added some pretty lace trim here to make my long belly band, and inside I've just put some cat soap invoice here, and that has come from the, I'm trying to think where it's come from. It's come from the French Blue and Cream bundle. That's where that one's come from. I've backed it, tea stained it, and then just popped it in this belly band here. These images are beautiful, aren't they? They're from my own stash. Some journaling space on this side, some hummingbird paper. I believe this is a Graphics Fairy journal page, but I can't remember where I got it from, which bundle. I'm sorry. I did go back and try and look, but I couldn't find it. But I know I got it off the Graphics Fairy site, and it just worked well with the colours and the shabby feel that I wanted to have with this journal. So here, these are from the backing sheets on Graphics Fairy. I've used these a lot in my journals. If you've watched my previous flip throughs, this is like one of the tea stained backing papers, and I just love them. And I've added a wide green lace here to make a tuck spot in there, where I've included this envelope. It's just an ordinary green envelope, and I've added a collage on the front. These florals are from the British Flower Guide, and this image here is from the stamp sheet from the Kitty Cat Ephemera bundle, and I thought that looked nice in there, and the green envelope worked well with the lace pocket. Tea stain paper here. This one is from the I think it's the wallpaper. I think this one actually is from the Beekeeper's Cottage bundle, and it's one of the journal pages, and I've just used bits of it throughout my journal here. And I've got a swinging tag, and it can be written on, and this was I made myself. If you've watched my previous flip throughs, you'll know that I like combining some of the images from the Graphics Fairy together to make my own sort of new image, if you like. And these were two separate images. That was one of the cat image. That's a cat image from the Kitty Cat Ephemera, and this image was a teacup that I found just by searching teacup. And what I did was I put the two together. I only have Microsoft Publisher here at home. I don't have a fancy program or anything, and I just managed to position them together and decide which image I want on the top. And in this case I wanted the teacup on the top, so it hid the rest of the cat behind it, and then I was able to group them together to make a new image, and that's what I have. I quite like it, and I like the way it's swinging. Tea stain paper there, nice pretty collage with that bit of a sheet. And on the back, some lined paper, my own ruffle using scraps of fabric, and I've just did a little bit of a cluster down here using one of the images from the stamps from the Kitty Cat Ephemera, and some, which way am I going? This way, here we are, sorry, and some flower little lace trim collaged up on some vintage paper here. This is an old vintage book, children's book, and it was called Bristler the Black Cat. So of course I had to use some of that in my Kitty Cat book, so that's lovely. So vintage book page there, some Edith Holden page, which I thought went well with the colours here, the yellows and the greens are on this section. And here I've got some vintage music paper that I've just turned up to make a pocket, and used one of the images from the Kitty Cat Ephemera and popped that in the pocket there. This little bit of clustering is also to help stabilise the pocket, because the vintage paper can be so fragile that I had a little tear here and I didn't want it to get any bigger, so I've just collaged it up with some papers here. The other side of the vintage music sheet, and I've added a bit of my own paper from the stash that fitted in with a shabby feel, and I did this to help stabilise the vintage music sheet here, because when you're sewing through it, when you're binding it all together, it is pretty fragile and can tear, so this helps stabilise it. Another beautiful image of a cat from my stash, and the other side. And again, one of those flowers that I've cut out from the British Flower Guide, and this time I've added some pink ribbon lace trim here. And then a larger image that I've cut out from the British Flower Guide bundle on Graphics Fairy, and paper from my stash, lined paper to journal on, and my centre spread here. Again, lots of journaling room, pretty image of a cat, and I love the way this goes against the lace that's coming up in a bit. I love doing that in my journals. I think I've mentioned before that I like the staggered look, and this really looks pretty to me. I love it. So that's that one. Another black cat with some ivy on this side. Again, a tea stain page of my own with some lace and some floral trim there. I love that. And on this side here is more of that wallpaper sheet from the Beekeeper's Cottage. The colours just went so well with the journal that I had to use it. And it's a tuck spot here, so things can be tucked behind there. And I've just glued it at the bottom so that nothing will fall out. It will nicely tuck in there. And up here, I've just added a bulb pin with some lace trim, some fabric, and a beautiful cat charm there. A lovely little, will it focus? There we are. A lovely little cat charm. That's so sweet. Now here, page from my stash, journaling up here, and on the bottom of the page there was an image of 2 tags. So I printed the sheet twice so that I could cut out those tags and use them to have some hidden journaling and just a bit of interest on the page. I've attached them with a split pin and then added the fabric bow on the top. And on this one, that cat image has been cut out from one of the stamps from the Kitty Cat Ephemera printables, and I've just glued him on there. But I thought that was quite nice to have some, definitely hide some journaling on that one, have some private journaling going on, and also you can have some journaling here. On the other side of that page we have a belly band. This time it's a sideways belly band about dogs and cats, so I had to use that, and I've added some lace here, and inside there I've added this Kitty Waltz from the Graphics Fairy music sheet, and I think I got this, no, I can't remember where I got it from, but I think I searched for cat ephemera and things like this will come up, and that's how I found it. I've backed it onto some squared paper there, grid paper, inked it all up and folded it a little bit so that it can fit in my belly band. Oh, and this background here, that's one of the journal pages from the British Flower Guide, so that's lovely, and that goes in there. There's the other side of the vintage music paper, and here that's an image from the Graphics Fairy, and this also is from the Graphics Fairy. This one is in the Kitty Cat Ephemera, and I've just cut that one out, backed it and added it into the pocket here. This one, I'm not sure what bundle that one is in, but it's again, like I say, I searched for cat images and they will all come up. Everything that's on the Graphics Fairy site will come up. I'm just trying to get that one back in there, in that pocket, without ripping the pocket. And back here, I've just added some craft handmade paper. So that's for extra journaling. And I've added a yellow lace bow there to tie it all together, and that fits into my pocket there. I've used a paper clip to keep that one. There we go, put him back on there, and then my little paper clip will keep them all together nicely. Oops, let me just get that back on there. This always happens on live camera, doesn't it, when you're filming? It never goes quite the way you want it to. There we go. So that's on there like that. That's the other side of that Edith Holden page. That is beautiful. Look at that. I love that. And the blister, the Black Cat book page. Tea stain paper with pink lace trim. And here I've just sort of added a flip over. Well, it's not really a flip over. It's a journal spot that can be hooked on both sides of the page. A pink flower here from my stash, and some book paper, and one of the stamps here. And there's, if you open it up, there's some journaling room here. So that, I suppose it is over the page because it's going over both sides of the page, but I don't know what you call it. There's probably a name for it, but I don't know what it is. And then on this side is that cat. This image is from the Graphics Fairy. I searched children with cats in the search bar, and that came up, and that image here is one that I've cut out from the stamps, one of the stamps. So that's just a little cluster going on down in that corner, plenty of room to journal. And on this side is a circle window. That sheet there is from the British Flower Guide printables, and I've just made a big tag here using an image from my stash onto some vintage book paper, and as you can see it's an envelope. So I've made that. Again, a beautiful picture from my stash, and I've just clipped on a paper clipped on a doily here, and that's the other side. So beautiful, love it. And that one, and here is the other side of the yellow rose grid paper, and I've made a journaling card here from one of the little postcards in the Kitty Cat ephemera. See, that's beautiful, isn't it? Lovely. I've added some pink ruffle ribbon there, and on the back side there is some journaling space, and I've got this die cut, this little teeny weeny mouse die cut. It's beautiful, isn't it? And that's the only one I've used here in the journal. It's sort of like a, almost like Find the Little Kitty Cat, isn't it? Do you remember Where's Wally? So it's like finding little kitty cat, just like Where's Wally. And I've made a tag here using some images from the Graphics Fairy, and there is a nice big pocket in there with some ruffle. And this one here, I think, is a journal page that matches that collection, and I think it's just the rose one. And I've trimmed it down to make this tag, journaling space on the back. And this cat here is on one of the Christmas bundles, and it's on a postcard with some holly and berries underneath it, and I just loved the image of the cat, so I chopped him out. So I didn't want to use obviously the whole postcard because it was Christmas themed. I just loved the image of the cat, so I cut him off and used him on my tag here. So that all goes nicely together, and as I say, that's a big pocket there that can hold something nice. And here, this image, vintage cat from my stash, and I've clustered it up with some flowers and some leaves here, and it flips open, and we have lots of journaling space. And I just, with my craft knife, I cut along the flower here to make a little tuck spot like that, and those go in there. And that is the catnip envelope from the Kitty Cat ephemera, and there's one of the stamp images again. And that's a lovely idea, to just use your craft knife and follow some of the image to cut a little slot, and then it can hold things. And mine holds those. So that's that there. Here we have an envelope, and this envelope is from the I think it's the pink, gold and cream, the pink, gold and green bundle, sorry, and I've just added a picture of a vintage cat from my stash on the front, but the envelope is from the Graphics Fairy, so that's lovely, and it's on that wallpaper from the Beekeeper's Cottage. That all goes nicely together. And on this side, oh, let me put that back. And now on this side, that's the journal page is the other side of that journal page from the Prontomps collection. And I've got here a journal card, but it comes out. These are those little photo corners, and they're stuck on the page so that my journaling card will come out. So you can journal on that space, and I've got a little pocket that holds 2 tags here, and you can journal on those as well. And that's the blank part. Oh, the blank part of the journal page. And so I just stuck the photo corners on, inked them up, and then it helps hold my journaling card. Oh, journaling card in place. I'll put that back in a minute. And the telephone book with a tab there, fabric tab. Again, a vintage cat that I've clustered up, and a butterfly flips open for some journaling room on this tea stained paper here. And on this side we have some more of that pink ribbon lace trim, and I made a up pocket this time, cut out that picture from the stamps, clustered it up with again some flowers and leaves, and I have some a cigarette card here, genuine cigarette card of an Abyssinian cat, and the envelope here is from the Tattered Florals 2 collection on the Graphics Fairy site. So that's an envelope, and it looks lovely in the pocket with the cat there, and my last page can journal on there, and the wood grained cardstock again on the back. So that is my lovely Shabby Whiskers journal. I've loved doing it, and all the cat images are gorgeous, and the kitty cat ephemera bundle on Graphics Fairy really did help me put all this journal, it really did help to pull all this journal together. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. Bye for now.